Once upon a time, in a distant forest, there lived a little rabbit named Plush. Plush was the favorite of the whole forest with his soft fur and cute ears. One day, while wandering in the forest, Plush saw a colorful butterfly. Admiring the beauty of the butterfly, Plush started to follow it. The butterfly dragged him deeper and deeper into the forest. Finally, the butterfly landed on a tree and spoke to Plush. "Hello, Plush, I am Fairy Butterfly. I brought you here on a mission." Plush was surprised and curiously asked Fairy Butterfly what he had to do. Fairy Butterfly said, "All the animals in the forest are afraid of the dark. It is your duty to light the stars in the sky and illuminate the forest without scaring them." Plush was very excited to do this task. He immediately started jumping towards the sky. Each time he jumped, he went a little higher. Finally he reached the sky and touched the stars. The stars began to shine with Plush's touch. The forest lit up brightly. All the animals in the forest saw this light and were very happy. They were no longer afraid of the dark. Plush thanked Fairy Butterfly and went back to the forest. From that day on, Plush became known as the hero of the forest. This story of Plush teaches us the importance of courage and doing good. No matter how small we are, we can always make a difference. Once upon a time, in a distant land, there lived a queen named Grimhide. Grimhide was very beautiful, but she was also very vain and jealous. Every time she looked in her mirror, she would ask, "Am I the most beautiful in the world?" "Yes, my queen. You are the most beautiful in the world," the mirror always replied. One day, the queen's stepdaughter Snow White was born. Snow White was so beautiful that even the sun was dwarfed by her. Grimhide was very jealous of Snow White's beauty and decided to kill her. He ordered a hunter to take Snow White to the forest and kill her. The hunter couldn't spare Snow White and set her free in the forest. Snow White got lost in the forest and came across a small hut where 7 dwarves lived. The dwarves accepted Snow White into their hut. Snow White started to live with them and was very happy. Grimhide found out that Snow White was still alive and made a plan to kill her. She disguised herself as an old woman and gave Snow White a poisoned apple. Snow White took a bite of the apple and fell to the ground and fainted. When the dwarves returned home, they found Snow White lying on the floor and were very sad. A prince was hunting in the forest and came across the dwarf's hut. He saw Snow White and fell in love. He kissed Snow White and she magically woke up. The prince and Snow White got married and lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a distant land, there lived a princess named Aurora. At Aurora's birth, 3 fairies gave her a gift. The first fairy gave her beauty, the second fairy gave her a beautiful voice and the third fairy gave her golden hair. Just then, a dark witch appeared and cursed Aurora. On her 16th birthday she will be pricked by a needle and fall asleep forever, the witch said. The king and queen were terrified of this curse and locked Aurora in a tower to protect her. She was to stay in the tower until her 16th birthday and see no one. But the witch found Aurora and pricked her with a needle. Aurora fell asleep forever, just as the witch said she would. A prince had to kiss Aurora to break the curse. Years later, a prince discovered the tower and saw Aurora. He admired Aurora's beauty and kissed her. Aurora magically woke up and married the prince. They lived happily ever after. Aurora and the prince had their wedding and the whole kingdom celebrated this happy event. But the witch was still around and wanted revenge. One night she sneaked into Aurora's room and put her to sleep. The prince didn't know what to do to wake Aurora. The prince asked the whole kingdom for help to wake Aurora. One day, a wise woman gave the prince an idea. "The only way to wake Aurora is to sing to her the song of someone who really loves her," she told him. The prince loved Aurora so much that he wrote her a song. He started singing the song in Aurora's room. Aurora woke up when she heard the prince's voice. The prince and Aurora were very happy to be together again. When the witch heard that Aurora had woken up, she was furious. She tried to attack the prince and Aurora, but the prince managed to defeat the witch. The witch disappeared forever. Aurora and the prince lived a long and happy life. Their love for each other always protected them.